Alrighty, welcome back to I Am Very Smart. I don't know how well this fits in with Anger Week, but I suppose you might find some of the people on here pretty insufferable. So I guess it fits the theme in that regard. Anyway, let's start off with number 19. Literally no one asked, blue guy. I was smarter than my class. The semester just about broke me, I get it. I was envied for being smarter. I'm smart, hella smart, but I have focusing issues and went without more than 3 to 5 hours of sleep for weeks, months even. They were jealous of me for my advanced intelligence. What kind of strange conversation is going on here? And did you notice that you just drew a bunch of dicks on the side of your screen in order to cover up the identities of people? Why are they like talking about you being smart back and forth? This is such a strange conversation to begin with. Like, let's compare smarts with each other and talk about how smart we are, but why we weren't able to show it fully. I'm not sure on either of these sides. Almost every tweet is about how they went to Harvard. Oh, speak to me, great scholar. Tell me what I haven't learned raising my own children. Don't mess with me. I went to Harvard. You peaked in school, and everything since then has been downhill. IQ test can't capture his intellect. I am a member of a secret society for gifted individuals. Invite only, unable to discuss details. It's also called Mensa. It makes me really smart, and I had to be invited to join. I can't tell you much more, but it's called Mensa, so you should look it up and learn about it so you can see how smart I am. As part of the admissions process, members take an IQ test. After being grilled on my philosophical stances for over 3 hours by a team of 12 executive intellectuals? Executive intellectuals? What is that? It's like you got intellectuals, but then you've got the C-suite of intellectuals. You got that chief executive intellectual. You've never heard of a CEI before. CEOs? That's some kitty peasant stuff. CEIs, that's where it's at if you got the real smarts. They proceeded to hand me the IQ test pamphlet. I smiled, holding it for a moment before giving it back. Why are you giving up now? You're the most promising candidate we've ever seen. That is precisely the problem, you see. IQ tests are not capable of measuring intelligences beyond the limits of current humans the test has encountered so far. To try to capture my abilities in a mere IQ test or as a foolish effort. I slid the paper back on their desk and silence fell over the group. One by one, they stood up and clapped. Later that evening, their chief intelligence officer steeped down from the organization's highest post. He said, "Please, we need you to lead our society from now on." I humbly accepted this honor and have led this organization ever since. Hey, didn't you take an IQ test in 6th grade and you get a 104? This is the most incredible fan fiction I have ever read of like the start of a movie, of how the 12-year-old child was offered to be the head of the secret IQ Society organization, and then all the hijinks that ensue. Coming soon to a theater near you rated PG. You need to pass an IQ test to watch Game of Thrones. The one thing that will always piss me off about Game of Thrones being mainstream is there are too many people who aren't intelligent enough to comprehend the show. It's honestly annoying. You should have to pass an IQ test in order to watch it. I mean, it's made for a pretty large audience, and I think most of them have been able to enjoy it, other than this season's a bit debatable with them trying to squish a gigantic amount of things into only 6 episodes. There are only 2 episodes left. Oh, man. There's so much. Like, the last 3 episodes could have been, like, an entire season in the past. Yeah. Anyway, unrelated to the post, but no. What you're saying is you think you are extremely intelligent for being able to understand this fictional TV show. And it upsets you that other people think they're able to understand it because you know you must be smarter than them, and so they must not actually be enjoying it for what it's worth because they can't be as smart as you, and therefore they can't enjoy this show that takes your brain power in order to understand. That's what you mean. Trying too hard to look smart and unique. I always think of the Reddit logo as the 5th Teletubby. I think of it as an upside-down broken umbrella with weird patterns on it, but that's only because I'm super unique. I march to the beat of my own oboe, since everybody else marches to the beat of their own drum. I march to the beat of my own oboe. Cool, dude. You had to just go and nope. Yeah, no, nobody asked. Good reply. I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. I would have asked, because while everyone else is sleepwalking through these Reddit threads, I'm the lone woke person watching and wakeful. I am woke and also wakeful? Did you know how woke I am? I'm so woke that I'm also wakeful. I've entered a state of wakefulness because of how woke I am. I've achieved mass wokeness, okay? So much woke wakeness in my wakeness state that even when I'm sleeping, I'm actually woke. No quantum physics for you. You need to play video games. Basically ended up in esports because when I was 12, a librarian told me I couldn't really borrow these books on quantum physics since I was too young. So out of spite, I checked out a couple of video games instead, and today I'm not exploring black holes, but tweeting things. What? So literally your entire path, it diverged with that one fateful experience with the librarian who refused to allow you to check out books because she didn't think you could understand them because you didn't seem high IQ enough or old enough, but actually you were super high IQ. So you showed her. You decided to be the best at those video games, and now you're in esports, and it all boils down to that one librarian. Had you come at a different time that day and it was a different person on shift, or you'd gone to a different library, the public library instead of the school library, then you would have been in a different position. You would have been working for NASA, but instead, you're working in esports, all because of that one exchange. This should be a flashback in a biography about your life. This is why I don't open Facebook anymore. So I was playing with the quadratic equation and its derivation today and learned there's another version. 2c divided by a negative e plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. It looks similar, but it's obviously different, and I find it hilarious for some reason. I'm going to use this version from now on just to confuse people. I look forward to this. So I'm assuming what he did is he just moved things around on different sides of the equal sign by, like, I don't know, adding and multiplying and dividing. Like pretty normal stuff, I'm assuming. Like nothing too wild there. It's just like in order to solve for x, you move things around the equal sign and stuff. And so you probably did that. And you're like, wow, that's hilarious, dude. I'm so smart. I realized that I could do that. It's pretty cool. I was able to rephrase it and probably make it more complicated. But damn, I'm smart. Damn, I'm good. If only Einstein thought of that. Like freaking world peace. Could have been here by now, but I got this. I'll handle it. Don't you worry. And this person has a cultish following. Why is it I can think of the word amalgamation, but no simpler synonyms? After using thesaurus.com, I went with fusion, a far more common word, meaning the same thing. So you couldn't think of a synonym, so you went to thesaurus.com and used a synonym. Because it's what it sounds like, is you're like, ah, damn, I've used this word too many times, I should think of another. And so you use thesaurus.com like people might do for that situation when they're kind of like roadblocked. And then you did it. And that makes you smart because you had too smart of a word to begin with. Yeah, honestly, in the future, I would personally prefer it's the Dragon Ball Z amalgamation dance. I think that would be a much better name for it than the fusion dance. Fusion's too boring. We could get smarter up in here, dude. It's the amalgamation dance. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. I still can't believe how much people like things I don't like. I still can't believe just how much people care about watching sports, competing vicariously. I will truly never get it. I've made peace with that. I'm all for playing sports, to be clear, but watching other grown men and women play games and compete, emotional spectators. I mean, I don't care much for watching sports myself, but I understand the appeal of it, you know. Every now and again, usually when it's a super high stakes game, like I'll enjoy watching the Super Bowl or something like that. It's like, oh, there's a lot on the line in this. That's kind of interesting. Who's going to win? Otherwise, I don't really watch sports much at all. And I often, I guess I'd prefer to play it in many cases, but you can also say the same thing. Like, why is it appealing for people to watch video games on YouTube instead of playing it themselves? Well, it's like you talk to that old person, you're like, well, why do you watch sports? Literally the same thing. It's the analogy that always trips them up. For some reason, they've never thought about that comparison before, but, you know, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you don't have to, look down upon it. The only thing that rubs me the wrong way, I'm going to upset people with this, but I think I've said it before, is when they refer to the team as we. It's like, if the team that they usually root for did poorly the other night, and then they're, venting to their friends, it's like, we just needed to pass the ball more. We just needed to score more from this zone. And I'm like, it's not we. You're not technically part of the team. I'm just thinking this to myself as I'm overhearing this conversation. Like, it's not we. You're unaffiliated. I get it. You're commenting on what they think. It's not we. I've just upset a lot of people with that one. Sorry about that. Engineering is king. When the average on the test was 46%, you got a 47. I see this as an absolute win. If this has ever happened to me, I'd be greatly disappointed in myself. Luckily, I always get a score of 4/3 of the standard deviation above average on my exams, which is why I have so many A and A plus grades. If you relate to this meme, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Work harder and better next time. Sorry that you have so little else going for you in life that what makes you feel better is to brag about your school test scores on a meme post on the internet. Better than Americans. You're American. By default, I have a far superior history knowledge than you. That and the fact that you're known for having a notoriously dumb population. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of dumb people who exist in this country, but definitely other countries as well, and kind of all over the world. It's almost as if they're just kind of dumb humans in general that are out there. Not you. Now we're all right here. We got this covered, dude. We're the smart ones. I mean, don't worry. Like, we out here just making big plays in the world. All right, bettering humanity by making reaction videos on YouTube. Just tip top. Making just society is rocketing forward as a result of our actions here. It's not us. But yeah, okay, yeah, just don't worry about it. I mean, by default, when I am birthed, okay, in another country with a longer history, like that of France, for example, just the knowledge, it flows into my brain in the womb. It's infused into my neurons at birth. I just know more. I can elaborate the history of our glorious country just by the time I can speak, because it's been with me since birth. You, American, you have no history. It does not flow through you like it flows through me, and therefore you must try to learn, but you can't, because it's not inherent. You merely adopted the knowledge. I was born in it. She has been at a community college for years and also constantly begs for money. Question for my friends on the interwebs. What happens when you combine computer science, math, geometry, quantum physics, ancient alchemy, modern Google Google searches, and an internet full of random information and mad scientists with a brain with an IQ of over 200? Trouble. That's what. I got this new pyramid scheme cooking. Make sure to sign up. You can get a sweet bonus referral code if you get in the first month. Coming soon. It's not a multi-level marketing scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's just selling good products that you buy from me, that I bought from another person who bought it from another grand wizard. Just, Google searches in the modern age combined with a 200 IQ individual. Can you believe what sort of wizardry that can unlock? Oh my God, the world is saved. A cowboy savant at speaking words. My ability to sound like a full-blown hick and then turn around and be as well-versed as a doctorate-level professor is both astounding and just downright odd. So what you're saying is like you're good at acting, yeah? Is because like there have been actors that have taken roles where they're supposed to play someone who's like just not super smart, and then they can, in the next movie, they can take a role where they're playing an astrophysicist who is like a historical figure who came up with some brilliant formula. It's like you can do both. Amazing. Impressions exist. Acting exists. It's like you have an ability that other people have, and it's wild. You should go to like drama classes or something and put that to use. Maybe you have a future in film. No time for culture, Dr. Jones. Please don't complain to me about how life is so horrible because you can't watch Game of Thrones the day it comes out. I'm over here calculating Big Bang probabilities. Seer Crisis is literally too minuscule in the scope of things, okay? Like, dude, I got a whole whiteboard of equations, so Game of Thrones doesn't really bother me right now. I haven't actually watched the show, so it's not like I care about the show, so obviously it's not an issue because it's not something that I have an issue with, so therefore you shouldn't possibly have an issue with, and you must have a low IQ if you do, because I haven't watched the show because I don't have time for TV and relaxation and enjoyment because I'm too busy calculating big bangs, all right? So go take your minimal problems somewhere away from my whiteboard, you peasant. Get on my level. Her, he's probably thinking about other girls. Him. If I blow who out of my mouth, cold air comes out. But if I blow hot air comes out. Why is that again? All these dumb motherforkers who don't know basic thermodynamics probably have a heart attack from seeing the entry-level Bish mode, full assumptions, ideal gas model. Never mind the full explanation. Get on my level and stop neglecting your wife, you forking amateur. Where did he go to? He went from like not knowing thermodynamics to like neglecting your wife. Where did the two even come into play there, dude? Choose what you're upset about this meme. Are you upset with the thought? Are you upset with like that this is actually supposed to represent some kind of cheating thing going on? I'm confused. It just sounds like you're angry about general things and you're taking it out on this meme. I have a STEM PhD and I earn 6 figures. I have a STEM PhD and I earn 6 figures, and I use the phrase stochastic terrorism. Do I sound smart? Or am I smart? You sound unbearable, to be perfectly honest. Congratulations on all your success. I'm sure that you have a lot of friends to talk about it with. Alrighty, that's it for the last month of I Am Very Smart. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to like if you like. Check out the playlist in the description if you want to catch more of these. Subscribe if you're not already. And otherwise, I'll catch you next time.